And welcome to Nerdstalker. I am Adolfo Ferranda at Nerdstalker on Twitter, nerdstalker.com, and all the places you guys know, iTunes, YouTube, and the usual. Very special guest today, Daniel Shaked. So let me tell you about Daniel Shaked. He is the CEO and founder of Silicon Valley-based ClipCall, an innovative mobile platform that leverages AI to ensure the success of home repair and improvement projects. He's a pioneer in the solutions for the sharing economy. He spent thousands of hours working with home improvement service professionals from around the world. Welcome to the show.
Hi, great to be here. Can you say that all again? I so enjoyed it.
yeah. So Daniel, just for my benefit, how do I pronounce your name?
It's Daniel Shaked.
Shaked. Okay, good.
You did it. You did perfectly.
Beautiful. Okay, Daniel. Well, can you tell us any more about you?
Oh yeah. So I'm originally from Israel. I founded ClipCall a year and a half ago. Worked a lot of years in big corporations, but 10 years ago I founded another company in the same space called No Problem, which was connecting customers, homeowners with service professionals through a very unique pay-per-call platform. We are partnering with web publishers, and we're able to understand what kind of content they're reading about.
Right.
And we're launching a slide-in widget that could come in and guess that you are reading about, say, divorce. And by engaging with that widget, we just collected a few pieces of information that customers were willing to share, and we're connecting the lawyers to a live voice conversation in real time. And it was a cool thing. We're partnering with big yellow page publishers all around the world. So I'm in this space for quite a long time.
Wow.
Dealing with homeowners and service professionals.
Okay, well, that tells us like your expertise. For those who don't know anything about ClipCall, can you please, give them the rundown? What is ClipCall?
So with ClipCall, we are trying to make homeowners' lives much easier, to remove the hassle and the stress that people feel when they need to do home projects. And we're doing that, I believe, in a very unique way. We came up with the idea that in order to secure the process, to guarantee the process 100%, we have to own it from A to Z, from the point where the customer launches a project up to a successful completion of that project, and thumbs up from both sides. So we practically had to automate the entire offline, very stressful process of posting a project, collecting bids, communicating with service professionals, scheduling visits with them, getting quotes, comparing those quotes, booking, hiring people, and then managing the entire process with all those change requests going forward. And we've digitized that process through a mobile app for both sides. And we are in full control of that process. We collect like 40 different signals throughout that process in order to monitor them in real time, and of course intervene when there is a problem or something goes south, and to take a proactive approach there, all to protect both sides. But most important is that the way people interact with the app basically profiles their behavior, and we believe we are much better in understanding the quality of the service professional based on his actions with similar projects in your area, rather than just getting a post-job review from you as a customer, where there is a huge problem with online reviews about people.
Right.
Usually the people who review other people, like service professionals, are the two sides of the Gauss curve. So it's very hard to know really and assess the quality of those people unless you monitor their every action during the process and able to come up with a good profiling of their behavior. That's what we're doing.
That's a very, the product is really cool. And as a new homeowner myself, gosh, there's like a million uses for this thing I can see already. And how we recently had a retaining wall done, basically, right? And boy, could I have used ClipCall to have help that process. And I mean, a ton of other things that I don't know about that great, like plumbing, locksmithing type of situations, some construction stuff when you get a chip on the doors, a problem with your fence, or whatever and what have you. What I love about your application, your solution from a business perspective is totally scalable. Like I see it as a very sort of Uber-esque type of solution for this type of things. I know on the website you even go beyond home service type of scenarios. It seems like from a construction or a handyman perspective, which seems to be the primary focus. Can you tell us how can vendors join, to participate, and how can customers also join and take advantage of their services?
Awesome. So let's start with customers first, with the homeowners. As I said, our only objective is to make their life easier, is to remove the hassle from that thing. And usually when they download the app, it's available on iOS and Android. iOS is a bit more mature always. So we are developing in 2 phases, basically. And what they do, they download the app, and from that point on, they can post a project. And posting a project usually done with video, like the one we are doing right now. So they walk around their house, they show exactly what they need. We guide them on the screen with tips, what they should be saying, mentioning, and showing, just for them to create very structured, very good videos to make the other side of the pros informed to their best about their project. And as you know, we are right now doing video, and video is like 1,000 pictures a minute, and picture is 1,000 words. So we are great believers in video as the right way to describe what's needed. There's entirely new layer of information that comes with that video, which is not only what the customer shows, but also how he sounds. Does he sound committed? Is he a tire kicker? What do we see at the background? So the pros get a very good sense of what's needed. Then so it's like a very easy way to describe what's needed. And the service professionals at that point are getting that video streamed to their devices. They are able to watch it and decide if they are interested to engage, yes or no. If they are not interested in getting this job, they simply reject it. That's fine. We'll learn their preference this way. So later on, we are able to match better the right people with the right projects. From that point on, we launch a private channel of communication through our workflow messenger system, where people can chat, phone call each other, video conference cross-device, Android to iOS, and everything will be recorded and tracked in files under this project. So whatever we discuss will be there. It's like one point of truth, no dispute. It's the contract.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, there's so many great features to it. I mean, I love that the whole process end to end lives within the app. There's no sort of contract weirdness that's missing, or you don't have to rely on a handshake type of situation. The video feature is fantastic too, because trying to explain, like in the video that we were showing right there, a dishwasher overflowing and foaming. Is it coming from the top? Is it coming from the bottom? What's your dishwasher look like? Is it,
exactly? What's the make? What's the model? Yeah, you're 100% correct. It provides a lot of information that people really don't know how to convey online through a certain form, filling a form or things like that. So, the entire thing starts with the right match. The service professionals that we introduce to you after you post your project are not just plumbers covering your area, are the plumbers that had a great success with similar projects in your area before that. And we know that there are plumbers who are specializing in leak detection versus clogged whatever. So we match the right people to predict a successful end of that project. So that's part of it.
I see on the website too that you guys mentioned that you guys you can match with things like dog walking and all these various things, landscaping type of solutions as well. Pool service, painter, DJ, tutor, all kinds of cool stuff.
Yeah, and I can tell you, look, we have, of course, our focus right now are with projects around the house, which covers like 50, 60 different trades with sub-trades there.
Okay.
Because you might not know, but roofing and plumbing have like 4 or 5 different sub expertise.
Sure.
And but we do have people facing the camera and telling us a heartbreaking story about their husband and wife, and they're looking for attorney. And so it goes to various places, and we are not limiting that, but we are learning how people are adopting video and adopting, explaining their need through live broadcast of that need. And so yeah, that's about the customer side. You asked about the service professionals.
Yes.
So I think, at the beginning, it's very hard to assess who are the service professionals, who are really the people. Because if you look for their reviews on Yelp, on other reviewing websites, you typically see 2 sides as well of the house curve. It's very hard for you to individually assess who is the right pro, what's his integrity, to envision a successful end of a project, and there is no guarantee for anything there. So we would registering right now. They love the quality of our leads. Because think about it, a homeowner that shoots this video is a very committed one. And our business model, which is like just a percentage, 10% of the transaction, real no-brainer and no risk for them. So they're joining, and we have a challenge of filtering who are the right guys. So what we would do, we would pass through a very, I would say, where they have to submit their license numbers and talk about their insurance, etc., etc.
That's all really important stuff. Yeah. Now, Daniel, real quick, we lost a little bit of you there. It looked like you had some bandwidth issues there. Now, can you clarify for the service worker, is there a cost to join, or is it simply they take, you said that it's just a piece of the end project?
So the vendors are joining for free.
Okay.
They don't pay for leads. I think we have a bandwidth issue right now, but we take a commission out of any booking of the service. So it's a 10% commission, our business model, from any service booked. It's a reasonable amount of money if you drive them great and committed customers, and the most important part, you give them, which is a ceiling, which helps them to convert the opportunities to real revenues. We have our chat bot constantly monitoring open quotes and remind the customer and the service pro to follow up if there is no follow-up at a certain point. All the leads are filtered by their status, and every interaction is recorded and tracked there. So it's like we're helping them on the go to perform at the level of service that we think they should be performing. And those are people who are making their living the hard way. Understand that service professionals, they are good by nature. Sometimes they have to cut corners simply because with so many activities. Like a small business owner takes care of so much hassle around his business. So being a plumber is maybe like 25-30% of his time. So we need to help him to be successful. That's part of the vision.
That's wonderful.
It's not only to rate the service professional and disqualify if he's bad. It's like to help him to perform to his best.
Right.
So we're investing a lot of efforts in building a software that would help them.
That's great, because not every service professional is a great salesman, nor should they be, really, right?
Exactly.
So you provide a sort of built-in audience potential if the match is correct. Now, what I'm really fascinated too is that you mentioned that you guys use AI. So in what capacity are you using AI?
So, AI is a huge word, and you can use it in lots of capacities. It's a great question. As I said, we are aggregating today around 40 signals, how people behave. I'll give you a few signals as an example. Every video is tagged. with every word that is spoken and what is seen at the background. We do it partially, most of it automatically, but some of it manual at this point. But we understand what the project is all about. Then we see in terms of your demography as a homeowner, we know your address, so we would access various online databases to understand what kind of demography you are, where you live, what's the average cost of houses around that, simply because we want to match you with the right service professional, not the high end, not the lower end, the right one. And so it's not only a plumber that covers 50-mile radius, it's the right plumber in that area. And then we aggregate tons of information about the service professionals, like how fast they respond, how many interactions it takes them to get to a quote. Then what's their booking rate? It means how many times they were booked versus quotes they provided. How many times they had to change the quote on site and before a visit. Because many times they would submit a low quote, you would book them, and then they would come to your home and stretch the quote. Now, you might be 100% okay with that. He will explain you the reason for that, and you would accept it. But we see that as a constant behavior, as a modus operandi of this guy, and we do not appreciate that. So each and every action like that, even if he's late for meetings, we track locations. We know that they checked into address, they checked out to address. So we know if they are on time, if they keep their word. And the app really is not operational unless they allow this location tracking. So we don't really track the location where they are all around the day, but if there is a match with an address that they are visiting, which is one of the customers that accepted their lead, we get a notification. And if there is no match and there is a scheduling, there is an alert. So our bot and ourselves can interact with both sides and, to help not to get to the point where people are upset.
Wow.
So we aggregate all that information, and we're trying to create a quality score for this service pro. Quality score is the best predictor of a project success. That's the AI part. It's a different quality score for different projects. You might be 10 for this project and 8 for that.
Right. Fascinating. So can you tell us what is ClipCall Prime?
So ClipCall Prime is a subscription business model for homeowners where we provide them a constant discount from any quote that pros provide. It's basically it comes from our cut. But we also allow them and build a lot of services around preventive maintenance and emergency services at a discounted level. All that to create the right, call it club membership for homeowner to reduce the hassle. It also provides an ability for a personal account manager and a lot of great perks. But the idea here is it came from couple of, I would say, observations we had. The first thing we saw that homeowners are tight on cash, and many times they have to just give up on projects simply because they didn't have enough cash. Now, interestingly, the plumber is not able to finance anything. We, as a company, can do that for them. So we can finance that without any APR because we're not a bank, but we can do that as a part for our members. So we might offer you, instead of $1,000 fix, just pay us at 12 equal installments. Pay that pro, and we'll take the cash flow issue as a company. But on the other hand, we make it easier on you as a homeowner. The pro would get the entire sum, the customer would pay in installments, and that's part of the values that this kind of membership offers, as well as various discounts.
Fascinating. Yeah, that's a really cool service. You guys have thought of everything, it sounds like. This is amazing.
Not yet. We have so long and robust roadmap still to do.
Gosh. Yeah, and I would love to know, eventually we'll get there, because I really want to know your go forward plan as much as you guys feel comfortable sharing. So can you tell me, what was it like starting the company? Are you guys privately owned? Do you have a Series 1, or what kind of funding did you take on?
So it's of course it's a private company. We started the company. It was December 15, a year and a half ago or so. We've joined an acceleration program in Palo Alto, which is called Upwest Labs. Great program, especially focusing on Israeli entrepreneurs who want to build their companies all around the world. And then we're lucky to get seed funding from very noticeable investors, VCs from Israel and from United States, as well as a few angel investors. And we are looking forward to expand our funding in order to penetrate deeper in our current metros.
Of course.
And launch new metro areas very, very soon. So we'll be hitting Series A in a few months.
Is your dev team in Israel as well?
Yeah, our engineering talent is in Israel. And in the United States, here in the San Francisco Bay Area, we have our marketing and sales and customer service departments.
Wonderful. And so you touched on some of the go forward plan. What are you guys thinking of doing next, as much as you feel comfortable sharing?
So there are a couple of things. In a nutshell, we want to build a transactional network where people can. Right now, we have automated the access of collaboration between the homeowner and the service pro. But there is a huge need for service professionals to collaborate with their ecosystem of subcontractors and employees. They want to discuss. They want to discuss privately around your project, coordinate stuff, transfer the payment from you as a homeowner to the subcontractor who works with them on that specific project, because that's how they work. They work in swarms,
right?
And they build teams around projects ad hoc.
Yeah.
So we need to automate all that. And we've seen another interesting thing is where you, as a homeowner, when you get a quote, you want to get opinion from your friends, your family.
Right.
You want to share your newly renovated house while it's being built to your friends and family.
Yeah.
So eventually we're building a network here, a huge network of people to collaborate and transact over that space.
Yeah.
So that's
you nailed it. You nailed it right on the head, because that's how I found the guy for my service to do the retaining wall, was through a friend. We asked, there was another micro social network site. We asked down there, and then we asked some friends, and some friends said, this guy did a great job for us. And since you trust your friends and your family, you see a result perhaps of some of their work, and you go with that individual. So it's fascinating that you touch on that very common scenario, I guess.
It is a very common scenario, but it's based on one-time expertise that your friend had maybe a couple of years ago or a year ago, and the situation with this contractor right now is different. He has different employees. He has different status in his life.
Right.
He has different financial maybe constraints right now. So it's like meaningless thing.
Yeah.
And this is something that we had to deal with. Of course, we want to be as close as possible to your friend. We want to be a trusted platform, so you trust us at least as you trust your friend.
Well, if you're going to be living on their phones, that's pretty close. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. So, Daniel, how is adoption going so far?
So we have launched in May a year ago. In New York, New Jersey, state of New York, state of New Jersey, LA, and San Francisco Bay Area.
Wow.
Those are the 4 metros. We launched them at once. We have a couple thousand of service professionals that joined so far and are accepting jobs on a daily basis. We've dealt with many thousands of projects so far. And we're constantly learning and watching how people are interacting, how people are negotiating deals, what's their decision-making process. And there is no day that we are not making like 20 different tests to figure out how to build the right product. So we're building with the customers.
Wow, you guys must have some really interesting data from those studies then.
It's amazing data. It's amazing data, and because it's a real thing.
Yeah.
A homeowner spends on average in the United States $6,000 a year on maintenance and improvement.
Right.
That's a regular year.
Yeah.
You would have, like, every couple months you would have a technician coming over, a couple $100, and then you would do some home improvement, small project once a year, just paint a room, replace the carpets, whatever. You would spend around $6,000 a year.
Yeah.
And that's a huge and substantial spend, which goes completely offline today.
Yeah.
And huge market. Just the market in US itself is valued at $500 billion are exchanging hands between homeowners and plumbers and movers and roofers and gardeners.
Wow.
It's a huge market. Zero trust. Nobody trusts nobody.
Right.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. So that's what's so fascinating, that you guys are touching this. I know there have been other sort of haphazard sort of entries into this space that haven't really been end to end, and it doesn't flow quite like what you guys seem to be offering. It seems like, so it's very interesting. Plus, the data that you're getting is actual data. It's not survey data or anything like that. These are real transactions, right?
Real transactions, end to start to end, and yeah, you learn a lot. Like, that was not transparent to the other companies that you mentioned quite before. Most of the companies choose just to do the referral part. Please meet this plumber, please meet that roofer, and they have literally zero understanding of what's going on later on, even if there was a job.
Or this person is gold star or 4 gold stars, and what does that even mean, right? Yeah. And maybe you can't afford the 4 gold star individual.
Let me turn on the light for a second. Something.
It's probably one of those movement lights.
Exactly.
For those of you that are listening right now, Daniel's lights went out just briefly, so don't pull over or anything like that. So Daniel, I was going to ask you, what was it like? Tell us some of the pain points of starting the company. For those entrepreneurs out there, which we have quite a few that listen and watch the show. Tell us what perhaps some of the pain points, what you may have done, some learning opportunities, and what you would have done differently this time. You have experience with other startups anyway, so can you share that information?
Yeah, look, it's a crazy journey. First of all, you have to convince yourself that you want to dedicate probably good amount of your life, 10 years, 5 to 10 years, maybe more, to 24/7 kind of job, full dedication. You have to realize if you are able to be resilient to, like, tons of ups and downs during the same day. And that's hard. I can tell you, I'm in startup scene for over 10 years. It's my 11th year, and it's a hard thing. It is very hard. And I know people love reading stories about successful startups. I can tell you that every successful startup that's out there, the success came like within one night after 10 years of hard work.
Yeah.
So nothing comes like that with. It's hard. So first thing, you have to realize yourself if you are ready for that kind of a commitment. It's more than a kid. It's like not more than a kid, but it is a kid. It is a child. It is a child.
Yeah, it is.
Then you have to sell your vision, ability, and desire and passion to partners who would get their hands into their pockets and fund your crazy idea.
Right.
So people have to believe in what you're doing, and that's hard part. And then you have to sell it as well to your co-founders, employees. They are with you because you managed to convince them that you are doing something meaningful. And usually startups are not the most rewarding companies in the world. We are always constrained on the budget. We are burning investors' money. And you have to be like very sensitive to every dollar. So I think it's about realizing with yourself if you are really ready for that crazy ride.
Right.
and then be able to attract the right partners. Investors are partners.
True.
And they are partners, and everyone should be aligned. So that's the hardest part about starting the company.
And so who were some of your inspirations in books and things like that in the space, or just to keep you going day by day, or inspired you even to begin this crazy journey? We've interviewed tons of entrepreneurs, right? We've seen a lot of startups come and go and explode and implode, and a lot of it merge, and those we see that just continue to fight on in different startups or different businesses. Eventually they get there, right? Eventually they get there, but it's with a lot of blood and sweat and tears, as they say.
That's correct. I don't know if there was one person that inspired me, and because of that person, I decided. I think it's the entire ecosystem where you live and what you see around. I was raised all my life in Israel. I think it's called the startup nation, not for nothing. It's the highest.
For those of you that don't know, that are listening and watching right now, Israel has an amazing tech scene, incredible engineers there. I meet them all the time in the Valley in the early days and even now. And I'm talking to obviously an Israeli entrepreneur right now with a lot of experience. So continue, Daniel, please.
Yeah, so that's the highest amount of startups per capita are in Israel. So and it's a small country, and you live and breathe tech from your first day, and that's part of it. There are lots of success stories, but on the other hand, there are lots of other stories, and still, I think the hassle itself is the joy about it. You want to solve a problem. You want to fight for this problem. You want to figure it out. It's like Sudoku thing. You want to just solve it.
Yeah, that's a great.
It's not for money. It's not really for fame or something. It's just because you believe that you are building something that people need, and you are willing to, I don't want to say sacrifice, but you are willing to spend your life dealing with this thing.
Right. Well, there are choices that you make. So you choose to be an entrepreneur or you don't, right? So yeah, it's definitely a choice.
And that's right.
And this looks like a good choice. ClipCall looks incredible. For all of you out there, initially, don't do what I do. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe it's another Yelp, or maybe it's another sort of one of those fly-by-night service type of solutions for homeowners or something. But it's something really special. I definitely will not ask just any old startup to be on the show. So as you guys know, so make sure to check them out. You can get, Daniel, where can we get more information about ClipCall and yourself?
So ClipCall, of course, is on our website, clipcall.it. ClipCall it. It's not for Italy, just ClipCall it.
ClipCall it.
Yeah, ClipCall it.
Yeah.
So it's clipcall.it. I can be reached over my email, daniel@clipcall.it. Happy to answer any question, discuss things, synergies. Happy to help with anything I can.
Awesome. All right, everyone. Well, thank you again for watching and listening to Nerd Stalker. Another episode is in the can, as they say. All the places at Nerd Stalker on Twitter, nerdstalker.com, Nerd Stalker TV on YouTube, and gives us a subscribe and thumbs up if you're watching the video. If you're listening out there, give us the all the 5-star rating on iTunes. Again, thanks you all, and see you next time.
Thank you very much, Adolfo.
You bet.